Welcome back, y'all, to CFB enthusiasts. My name is Jimmy. That's Patrick. That's Jacob. This is our week 2 recap of the college football season. A weaker week than week 1 for sure, but there were still some really surprising results, namely South Florida beating Florida. We had the big marquee matchup, Michigan Oklahoma, which kind of went pretty much how I thought it would go.
Hmm.
And then we had a couple of high marquee teams struggling here and there. That I thought were pretty interesting as well. But go ahead and follow us on Instagram, CFB underscore enthusiasts. That's where you'll find a lot of our short form content. Follow us, subscribe to the channel, CFB enthusiasts. If you believe college football like we do, you'll love it over here. Let's jump right into this thing, guys. What did we learn from week 2 overall? I feel like I didn't learn too much personally, but I want to hear y'all's thoughts and what y'all learned from week 2.
Um, I learned a couple. Um, for me, it seems more like the Big 12 is going to be wide open. Not in terms of anybody could win it, but I think there's more teams: TCU, Baylor, Utah, Iowa State. If Arizona State figures it out, that's 5 teams that I think can win the Big 12. Um, the other thing is I think we cover that later about the gap for the. I don't think there's a huge gap right now between the one team and the teams in the top 10 right now. I feel like
Right.
any of those 10 teams can make a run at the title, which rightfully so. That'll be the playoffs right now. But I think USF. I don't think anybody had them preseason making a run or even being starting. They had a 6% chance to start out 2-0. So I know Florida's not the best, but just
Definitely not.
to go into Florida and win is still not easy for a non-SEC team,
Right.
and they took care of business. I think Alex Golish has something good going there, so I think they can continue to shock the world. Maybe this week versus Miami. I mean that's what everybody said versus Florida, but I think they have a legit chance to be the highest Group of 5 team to make the playoffs. And going into the playoffs, I think they have to have somewhat of confidence if they stay playing at this level. And then the ACC, I kind of learned, it's. I thought Clemson was going to run away with the ACC at the start of the year. I don't think that's the case anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State still looks good. Miami's looking good. I think those 3 are going to battle for the top spot. But if Clemson keeps coming out starting slow, like it did versus Troy, and LSU's a whole different defense, but they started out slow versus Troy. If they start out slow come conference play, they're going to lose games. They're going to
As
be
early
playing.
as next week, if they start off slow, they would lose to Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech rested Haynes King. He didn't even play this week, so he could be fully healthy. They
I didn't
started
even
out.
know that.
Yeah, he didn't play. They played nobody, but he was
Gardner Webb.
out. Gardner Webb. He was out. So they started out slow versus Georgia Tech. I don't know if they play SMU, Miami, but if they start out slow in those games, they're going to lose. SMU's not the best defense, but they have the offense to where if you start out slow, it's going to be hard to catch them. And then you play slow versus South Carolina, you're going to lose. So Clemson's got to figure it out.
Clemson didn't score till late in the third or early fourth.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't score the whole second half against LSU. They didn't score a point. So,
Yeah.
they went on 3.5 quarters without a touchdown. 4.5 quarters, I'm sorry, without a touchdown.
You do that in a game and you get shut out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clemson is not what I thought. They were my preseason pick to win the national title. Clay Klubnik was my pick to win the Heisman. I thought Clemson would have the best offense in the country this year. So far, I've been dead wrong. I guess that's what I've learned. I guess that's what I've learned. Clemson isn't the team I thought they would be.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew they would have issues running the ball with that converted wide receiver, that running back, Adam Randall. And then Antonio Williams ended up getting hurt in the LSU game, but that's no excuse for the offense to be looking like this so
Yeah.
far this season. Like you said, that's gonna be a toss up for me. I think they're at Georgia Tech. I know we'll talk more about it during the week, but I can definitely see them losing that game.
Georgia Tech's
Um,
going to come out motivated too.
they will, and they're really physical. They're
Yeah.
very physical, especially on offense with Haynes King and look like Clemson's defense struggled as well on Saturday.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the Michigan Oklahoma game. I have a good amount of takeaways from that game. I do think I was talking about this with y'all as the game was going on. I think John Mateer is going to be in New York by the end of the season,
Yeah. He looks
and
legit.
and me watching him, I came to that conclusion within the first two drives of the game. I was just like, the way that he plays, he's so aggressive with it, which can lead to turnovers. We saw that last night, but he has
Yeah.
complete full menu of the offense. Obviously, bringing in his coordinator, him following his coordinator, I guess, to Oklahoma, Ben Arbuckle. He has complete command of the entire offense. There's no limitations with him. Um, and he's going to need to be that guy to shoulder the load just because, like I also mentioned, Oklahoma does struggle running the football, at
Yeah.
least so far. And John Mateer is a great dual threat. He can run the ball. He's very physical. He can outrun guys too if he needs to. Has long strides. He's a gunslinger. He will throw the ball downfield, and he has playmakers on the outside. Satania, Brant, Burks, I
Yeah.
believe,
Dino Burks.
and then the tight end who converted from linebacker last
Jared
year.
Connect, dude, he can fly.
He,
Yeah.
he he's a baller. And he,
Yeah.
he has so he has the weapons around him to be able to put up the numbers necessary to go to New York. I think he has that it factor, I
Yeah.
believe. As much as I hate to say it as a Texas fan, I'm scared for October 12th or October 11th, whatever it is, at Red River. Um, whenever we meet in Dallas, but I can show love where it's due
Yeah.
for John Mateer for sure. On the other hand, Bryce Underwood, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
I
he'll be
agree.
okay. There weren't any, from what I remember, there weren't any egregious mistakes that Bryce made. Oklahoma's defense is very, very
Very
good.
good. And it's hard for a freshman to go into a hostile environment like OU for your second game. Except he didn't make any terrible mistakes where it was like, oh my God, what are you doing? It was just 9 of 24. I mean, that's not good, but it was just, he didn't throw any bad interceptions or fumble the ball, or he didn't lose them the game, but he didn't go out there and win them the game either.
Right. And for Michigan, the thing is going to be, hey, let's get some pieces around this guy.
Yeah.
We're going to have him for the next 2 years after this season. Can't do much with what you got now, but over the next 2 years, okay, what are we going to surround this guy with to be able to maximize not only his game, but the team. He's a very talented guy.
He is.
I did think he missed a couple opportunities in the run game for him to take off running.
Yeah.
Oklahoma committed so much to Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall to where I thought, okay, pull this one, pull this one. He didn't really pull. I don't think they were really option
yeah.
plays
I don't
really,
think they were
but
designed.
I just wish it was because there were opportunities there for him to go around the edge because Oklahoma was just cracking down on the edge when it came to that. But I think Michigan will be okay, all things considered. But they
Yeah.
definitely got a lot to work on
Yeah,
offensively.
I thought he played well enough. I still think it's true that It's hard to win games in college with the true freshman, and that's just the reality of it. It's a giant change from high school to college, but the one factor that stuck out about him being a freshman was shout out Brent Venables. He must have listened to our podcast because he did what I said. He blitzed.
Of course he did.
And blitzed and blitzed and blitzed and blitzed. And Bryce didn't complete a pass against the blitz. And that comes from being a freshman. You get rattled, you get under pressure, you're looking to get rid of it quick. Which, as time goes on, he'll get better.
Right.
You know, his stat line wasn't great, but he didn't look terrible. Like he didn't look like a guy that you're like, oh, he's a true freshman, he's going to stink. Like he's going to have a successful season, they're going to win games.
Yeah.
What's crazy is he didn't look, and this, not to compare here, but he didn't look as nervous or out of sorts like Arch did, for example.
Yeah.
Like, I understand the game plans is a lot different for Michigan than it is for Texas, and for as good as Oklahoma's defense is, Ohio State's defense is just on another level, but you didn't see those egregious mistakes from Bryce Underwood. And I think I think Michigan fans should be very encouraged by that.
Oh, for sure.
Although he didn't play that great. He wasn't terrible. He didn't make any glaring mistakes.
Yeah.
So Michigan will be fine. We know who's not fine. Florida.
You know how I know?
Oh, what was saying?
You know how I know that they're not fine?
Why?
Their AD had to release a letter this morning telling the fans that Billy Napier is their guy and they're sticking with him the rest of the season. That's how you know you're not fine.
Yeah.
I had something to touch on from the Michigan OU game real fast.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. You touched on Napier looked good, full control. I had same thing we talked about yesterday. Going to go to New York. OU's defense was good. Brent Venables taking over as a DC, definitely. They flipped the switch from last year. But touching back on Bryce Underwood, for Michigan fans, like you said, they got to be happy with what they saw. Looking at their schedule for Michigan, I think Penn State loses to Oregon and Ohio State. That gives them 2 losses. Oregon doesn't play Ohio State or Michigan this year. So if Oregon takes care of business, that puts them in the title game. Ohio State beats Penn State. Oregon beats Penn State. They're out with 2 losses. Michigan, for the most part, their schedule, I think they can win all of their games. And then their last game is versus Ohio State.
Oh, and they win that every year anyways.
So if they take care of business in the Big Ten, going into that matchup versus Ohio State, they have a good chance. Bryce Underwood has a good chance to lead them to the Big Ten title game as a freshman. Which, looking at yesterday, their defense is good. If he can clean up the accuracy on some mistakes, I think he has a legit chance to lead them to be a top 3 team in the Big Ten. Top 4 for sure, but they have a good chance to get to the Big Ten title game with a freshman QB. With, like you said, a lack of weapons around him, that would give them something to build on going in to next year, getting him more pieces.
That is a good point you make. I just pulled up their schedule.
Yeah, it's not the easiest
games. The only 2 games that you're like,
Big Ten schedule.
Yeah, it's at Nebraska in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Victory.
And then at USC.
Victory.
Other than that, their schedule is very, very manageable. You're right.
Beat Michigan State, beat Purdue, beat Northwestern, beat Maryland, beat Washington. Like it's not beat Wisconsin. It's not a bad schedule. They take care of Nebraska and USC and don't have any hiccups. It could come down to that last game to see who goes to the title game, Ohio State or Michigan.
Oh, Nick, what are you doing?
No. What do you do?
It's just a brutal pick. But, yeah.
Yeah, that was just all I want to touch on.
The last piece on that, real quick, before we move on, is I thought Ben Arbuckle did a good job of calling the timely design QB runs.
That's what I was going to touch on.
I think every time he called them, it was a perfect time to call it. Michigan either was selling out on the blitz or they were dropping 7 in coverage. There's either all this space because everybody's coming, or all this space because everybody's dropping in coverage. So,
right.
last thing on that, I don't know if y'all saw John Natier's post-game interview on the field.
Yeah.
They asked him about the QB run, and he was like, "I love it." He's like, he said, as a QB, you should be able to want to carry the ball, and if you have a QB that's willing to run the ball 20, 25 times a game, and he can throw like that, I'm just saying, if it's close and your running backs aren't getting any yard, and you just keep queuing up the QB runs for him, not to worry about him wanting to take a play off or he's tired. Like he has that mindset of give me the rock, let me carry it.
And they're going to be a very hard offense to stop because like he said in the post game as well. He's like defensive coordinators hate it when there's an extra guy.
That's
There's an
facts.
extra hat to block because the quarterback's running. It puts them in a bind. They have to make sacrifices within the defense. It compromises the defensive structure, and you're at the offense's mercy.
And if your QB can run, it opens up the playbook more. You can do more play actions. You can do more. It just allows you to run more plays.
Right.
Unlike Florida, who couldn't even run any plays successfully.
Florida's cooked. I think I thought Florida would be improved.
Yeah.
But nothing like astronomical or anything like that. But this is bad.
Yeah. I think it's just Billy. No disrespect on him, but
he's not the guy for the job.
He's not the guy. There's not again a great culture, or there's not discipline being instilled in the players when you have a dude spitting in an offensive lineman's face. That cost him the game. Like, bro, you got a minute left. I don't care what he's saying to you. Just walk away.
You saw what happened on Thursday night.
Yeah,
like you saw it all over the internet. I mean, maybe UCF still comes down and scores, but to give him 15 yards.
Yeah, because that restarted the whole drive. It went from like second or third down and 10 to first.
It would have been second and 12. It would have been second and 12, and now it's first and 10 from the 40. USF steals momentum on that penalty, and then Florida just forgets how to just tackle, and they bust off that like 40-yard little bubble screen play.
Yeah, it's just
Florida and Billy Napier. It seems like they have no culture.
Yeah.
Off the field, they have no culture, and on the field, what's their identity? What is their calling card?
It's not like they're running the ball with authority.
They're not like they're throwing it all over. They're okay. They're pretty good on defense. They're pretty good in the run game on offense. The pass game inconsistent.
Yeah.
What are they really good at?
I'll tell you what.
Nothing. Nothing. Like
I think people are so quick to label young quarterbacks as special or elite or generational prospects. I'll tell you what, DJ Lagway does not look like the DJ Lagway that everybody said is going to be this elite quarterback. Granted, I know it's bad play calling, but he was bad yesterday. He was bad the week before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still on his hype train. I don't put the blame on him. Like Jimmy said, there's no true identity on offense, so it's not like they have a consistent game plan week in and week out.
Right.
Their running backs are cool. I like Jaden Ball.
That's the next thing I was going to touch on is Billy Napier's gone after this year, right? For sure. Like if they bring him back, they're dumb. Their top receiver, Eugene Wilson, is a redshirt sophomore. Their second receiver, Brown, is a true freshman. You have two running backs that are true sophomores, and your QB's a true sophomore. So you have a lot of area to build on, but you're not putting them in positions to succeed. Obviously, like I said, they're one-on-one. They're about to go into a gauntlet. They're not going to be able to bounce back from this unless Billy Napier pulls some shit out of his ass or starts doing like voodoo magic. But for y'all's perspective or y'all's mindset, who would be their best hire to go in there with those young players?
The guy who just beat them.
Alex Golish?
That's what I was
He's a dog.
He's so good. And that would, if he runs the same offensive style he's running at USF, that fits them great. because DJ Lagway can run, DJ Lagway can pass. But do you think DJ Lagway transfers, or do you think he stays depending on who they hire?
Well, that's a question mark for all the guys like you just mentioned because they're all Billy's recruits. But Alex Goldish is good. The guy that came up in my mind when you asked that question, Pat, you're going to hate me.
No, Will Stein.
It's Will Stein.
Yeah. I mean, DJ Lagway would fit the offense that Will Stein runs good. It's a lot of quick passes. It's not. It's not waiting for plays to build up. It's 1, 2, 3. The ball's going. It's a run heavy offense with setting up the pass plays, or it's quick screens, quick passes, and then every now and then you'll hit a deep ball. I mean, I love Will Stein, but I think with the pieces that Florida has, I think he could do wonders there. And then it would just depend. It would just depend on who he brings in as his defensive coordinator.
Like if I were them, I would. I don't know. Alex Goldish is nice, but if I were them, I would either try to get Will Stein or John Summerall from Tulane.
What about what's his name? The Georgia defensive coordinator.
Glenn Schumann? No.
Glenn Schumann. He's been there for forever.
He took over as a DC when Dan Lanning left, but he was on the staff.
He's been on the staff, yeah.
I don't think a Georgia guy goes to Florida.
But you wouldn't think a Bama guy goes to Georgia.
It's different. That's Kirby's alma mater.
That's true.
And they're not bitter rivals.
Either way, it's still Florida. They can really go out and get whoever they want. Mm-hmm. You just don't want to go hire a guy from the Sun Belt this time.
Like, who?
Sun Belt Billy.
Oh, no, yeah.
Sun Belt Billy.
I think you said, yeah. Well, that was their first mistake. Or they could try to drop a bag on Lane Kiffin. I just don't see Lane leaving Ole Miss.
Yeah. He has something good there. Like, why would you want to leave where you have the most job security you could possibly get?
Yeah.
3 years ago, I could see Lane Kiffin going to Ole Miss, but with the 12-team playoff, Ole Miss is able to make the playoffs every year, as opposed to a 4-team. And plus, there were divisions too. So Ole Miss was in the SEC West when they're playing Bama and LSU every year, as opposed to the East where you would just get pretty much Georgia and then everyone else. But Florida's next games, they have at LSU, at number 3 LSU.
That's a loss.
At Miami, who's I think they're 8 or something like that.
I think they're 6.
Miami's 5. Okay,
5.
Miami's 5. LSU's 3. Texas is 7.
That's a loss.
And then they have A&M after that. Honestly, I think they'll somehow win one of those games.
I think they can beat A&M
because there is no way I can see Florida at 1-5 midway through this. I mean,
if Florida gets to 1-5, regardless of that letter, Billy's gone.
He's gone. Yeah. Yeah. At LSU, at Miami, bye week, at Texas, at A&M, Mississippi State, who they be the top 15 team, and then Georgia. So,
yeah,
that's a lot of L's.
It is.
That's bad.
Yeah, Florida's cooked. Next thing I want to talk about before we wrap this thing up is, okay, we're gonna do a quick little segment called how you feeling, and we're gonna talk about each of our teams and how we feeling, how we feel our team played this week. I'll start it off with Arch and Texas. Very sloppy game, I will say. Very sloppy game from the team as a whole. Very sloppy game from Arch. I will also say this. We have to get better around Arch as well. It's definitely not solely Arch. That's the problem. He's going to get the headlines. He's going to get the cameras on him. He's going to get the storylines. It's not all on Arch. Wingo dropped a slant. A wide open slant like yesterday. Offensive right tackle getting beat by a San Jose State guy. I mean, there's some things our receivers as a whole can't get open. It seems like outside of Parker Livingstone. So there's a lot to work on as far as the offense is concerned. It's not all on Arch, but I do want to talk about this real quick because we were talking about this, and it's been the talk of the town this week with Arch. Is is he injured? Now, I personally don't think he's injured, but there's been a lot made about his throwing motion, about his shoulders, about his mechanics, and all those things. And I had to go back. I had to go back and watch some tape from last year because last year we didn't hear anything about his throwing motion or his or anything, right?
Uh,
The throwing motion's pretty much the same. To me at least. I know a lot of people have made observations with him rolling his shoulders like this, like every 5 minutes. But he that's one of his weird mannerisms. I feel
yeah.
like quarterbacks have a lot of weird like quirks and things. But I think that's one of Archer's because he did that last year and he was perfectly fine. Um, I don't know if he's hurt. I mean, people have been saying it. Pat, I know you brought it out like
Yeah.
a week or two ago. Like, is he okay? Like,
The only thing that makes me think he's not hurt is if he was hurt, like by the rule of the book, they'd have to disclose it on injury report. So
Yeah, but then it allows teams to game plan for that.
yeah, well you have to. Like if he is hurt, if something comes out in 2 weeks and he's been hurt for the last 2 months, then they're gonna get in trouble.
that's gonna be bad. Yeah, that'd be
By the
really bad.
bylaw and the rules of the book, you have to disclose on injury.
It's just like I think you saw the video yesterday, Jimmy, when he's throwing. Like he's wincing as he's throwing. Like he's like,
So I went back.
or that's just normal.
I went back to the UTSA game, right?
Yeah.
And there was one angle I saw from Arch. It was a replay. It's a replay angle where he was throwing like a slant or something, and he had that same facial
Okay.
expression on that play too. I mean, I don't know why you really would. It that looks like a facial expression if you're in pain.
Yeah.
But my thing was when he threw that dirt ball to Wingo yesterday and he made that face, I was like, okay, he just knew he threw a bad ball, so he was like,
Yeah,
ah.
I think he was
That's
like,
what I'm thinking. That's what I was thinking.
I think
Yeah.
more frustrated than injured.
Yeah. Plus, it was raining too, so there was I don't know. Rain got in his. I don't know, but I don't think he's hurt. I
I
don't.
don't either.
But I do agree. I think he's talented. Like he'll come around. Um, and it could just be it's a different grind as a starting QB than as the backup. Like you're taking a lot more reps. You're taking a lot more hits. He's not used to. I mean, that Ohio State game, he got beat the fuck up. Like it was just a hard nosed football game. So yeah, I think he'll pull around. I think he'll be fine. I think it's just going to take time for all the, like you said, the receivers and the weapons to mesh all together because it's all new for the most part, right? It's all new guys from last year.
It's not all bad either. I mean, he
No,
had
not
a
at
great
all.
connection with Parker Livingstone. Livingstone
Yeah.
had 2 touchdowns. Coldest white boy out there. Jack Andrews had a great game again. It seems like those are his top 2 guys.
Yeah.
Jack Andrews, the tight end, and Parker Livingstone, who he was running team 2 with last.
I was
last
gonna say, which would make sense because they were both running. Yeah, they were both running team 2 with him last year in practice
Right.
and everything. So he has that. He already has that connection with them.
Exactly. So,
And the defense is still playing lights out too, so that always helps.
we're definitely even more of a defensive team now this year.
Yeah.
And I think I don't want to go too deep into this now, but I do think we're gonna have to start asking about Sark a little bit more because this is the second straight year where our offense isn't fluid and consistent as it needs to be. As a Sark offense would normally look like. I was thinking about this. I was like, the last time our offense was really consistent was 2023, and that's when we had Worthy and AD Mitchell and Whittington and Jonathan Brooke. We were loaded. We were loaded for sure.
Loaded, bro.
But
Yeah, if he's this great OC play caller, then he should be able to elevate players. He
Right.
should be able to get the best out of guys that aren't like Xavier Worthy. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So, and I know there's still a lot of stuff that our players are leaving on the table. Like when I'm
Yeah.
seeing the replays, oh, this guy was wide open. This guy was wide open. Oh, Arch didn't see this guy. There's still a lot of that. So Sark's offense, I'm not saying it's outdated or anything
Yeah.
like that, but there's definitely some things that he could work on as a situational play caller, which has been a concern for a couple years now. And just developing guys who just probably aren't as talented as that 2023 offense.
Yeah, I mean,
But
it's hard to compare to Xavier Worthy and AD Mitchell. I mean, like, it's hard to replace guys like that.
right, Oregon dominated, so
Oregon's the best team in the country.
we'll give them that. They've looked like
It's
them and Florida State have looked the best to me so far.
yeah. I don't want to
Jump the gun.
jump the gun or get too excited with Oregon.
Don't.
But I know we played Montana State and Oklahoma State. They're not great, but we didn't go out there and we didn't go out there and struggle. Like we went out there off the bat and took care of business. Like we scored 2 touchdowns on our first 3 plays yesterday versus Oregon State. Geez, just as bad. But Oklahoma State defense has been looking so fast. It's a lot of new guys, offense and defense. Been playing last week and this week 6 running backs and a rotation. Been rotating about 3 linebackers, 4 corners, 4 safeties, 4 D tackles, and 4 ends. So that's a good rotation right now, getting those guys on the field, getting those guys acclimated, because it's a lot of freshmen or guys that are in their second year, but this is their first year starting or playing. So I think that's been really good. So yeah, I mean, I have no complaints really, and there's not really too much to dive into besides everybody that's playing is, for Oregon, is doing what they need to do. They all look incredible. Dante Moore has been incredibly efficient, 6 touchdowns, no picks, I think 7 or 8 incompletions. He's throwing a beautiful ball, the zip, the accuracy, everything. But again, like I said, I don't want to overreact. It's been 2 bad teams. There's a couple of older Oregon players that have graduated maybe a couple of years ago on Twitter yesterday. I agree with them. Really can't. These wins are great. It's obviously exciting. Like we're starting off super hot. But it's going to be hard to make an assessment on how good this young Oregon team is until we go to Penn State's whiteout game. It's a whiteout game in Penn State.
That would tell us everything we need to know about both teams.
Yeah, so that's what I'm most excited for. I think this has been great just to get the feet wet, get the rhythm going, get the connection with the receivers, running backs, O-line, everybody. But I mean, I'm as of now, yeah, I'm super excited for this season to continue.
Jacob, how you feeling about your Tigers?
Good. Like Brian Kelly said, I think they got out coached yesterday. I got to give Latte credit because those guys came in there and they played hard. Granted, they have no offense. Their offense didn't show up. It was non-existent. But, I mean, those dudes played hard.
Their defense looked good.
I know it's an in-state game, so the smaller schools want to go to LSU and beat them. So credit to them. Credit to Sonny Cumbie. They outcoached Brian Kelly and the staff. They played hard. I mean, even BK said it. They got outcoached. I think a little bit had to do with still the mental fatigue kind of hangover from that Clemson win. Probably a little overlooking La Tech and looking more to Florida next week. But that can't happen because if you come out flat like that in conference play, you get outcoached like that in conference play, you're going to lose. Well, that can't happen. Defense flew around. Defense has been the backbone so far, and they're flying. I think it'll be interesting what happens with the injuries. The center, Brandon Moore, high ankle sprain on literally the first play of the game. And then Trey Green went down with a knee injury in the 4th quarter, came out on crutches with the brace. Nothing seen in any only positive part to take away from the center injury is DJ Chester, who the backup center is, was a center last year. So he's not inexperienced. He's not the experience. It's still gonna hurt. Trade has really gonna hurt for sure. But like, especially against Florida next week, you gotta come out fast. Like a team like Florida who's suffering, coming off a loss, they're gonna want to start fast. And you just gotta foot on the gas pedal, keep it on the throat, and just try to bury Florida quick.
And I feel like if LSU comes out quick in that game and jumps up 14-0,
The game's done.
Florida's gonna
It's
break.
gonna
It's
be
done
done.
because they're already
They're gonna
mentally
force
just
Lively to throw, and then that lets on pass rush go, and that lets Blake Baker have fun.
right.
I will say, real unbiased. I think I said it in the chat yesterday, Jimmy, because you asked why the game was 10-17-0 whatever, and it was really, I mean, like you said, I'm not trying to give my opinion on your team, Jacob, but
I don't care.
I think
a lot of throws too.
No, that was what I was saying. I think the main reason for LSU yesterday why the game wasn't a bigger blowout was Nuss was that's probably the worst game I've seen him play in terms of accuracy. He had 12 or 13 incompletions. But hey, get that game out the way now for Louisiana Tech, where it's not going to cost you the game. Get out of the way. You got that out. You got that off your chest. Now you go out and play like the Garrett Nussmeier that you're supposed to be. So.
And on top of that, Damian Ramos is still a terrible kicker.
Oh yeah, their kicker's trash, bro.
You also have special teams issues.
Yeah, dude.
I also think
this dude missed a field goal. He kicked it short. BK called the timeout, so they kicked it and count. He came back out and missed it wide right.
Bro,
yeah.
one of the most memorable games from last season for me, for some weird reason, was the LSU A&M game, right before Halloween. Bro, he missed 2 field goals, right?
Yes.
And then they come back out in the third quarter, they're kicking a field goal again, and the holder's not ready for the snap.
Yep. And it hits him right in the head, right in the chest.
For as bad as Nuss played, that was another reason why y'all lost that game too.
I also almost felt like LSU was just keeping the offense very simple. Like they didn't really pull out any tricks, which why would you pull it out, put it on film,
But the last thing I want to talk about before we wrap this thing up is the biggest thing I learned about this week in college football and why I'm not concerned as a Texas fan. Here's why I'm not concerned, even though we have all these question marks. The teams at the top, I think you mentioned this earlier, Pat. The teams at the top, the margin is not that large. It's very small. Even with Ohio State, who had the big win, they're sitting at the top. They scored 14 points against our defense, and they only had 2 drives that were quality. The rest of the game, and I know part of that was their game plan. They were going to be really, really conservative, but hey, we're gonna have to see Julian saying against a formidable team at one point in time is going to have to make plays and win them a game. We'll see later down the line, though.
I think we'll see a bigger margin. We'll start to separate the teams once they start hitting conference play.
For sure. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. But a decent week of college football. I got to shout myself out because I did call the Mississippi State beating Arizona State. And then
all 3 of our upsets hit. You had Mississippi State, I had Baylor, Jacob had Vanderbilt. I think that's the first time that we all predicted a correct upset. Yeah.
That's the first time we've done it. Okay.
SEC.
Hey, let's keep it going.
Vandy had me worried. I know I'm a huge Vandy fan. They were down.
No, you're a huge Pavia fan.
I'm a big Diego Pavia fan, but they were down. I think they outscored them 24-0 in the second half.
They won a big run, didn't they?
Yeah.
Jordan Love almost threw a nasty interception just now.
Oh, I'm about to see it. It just popped up.
Oh my! Yeah. No, I take it. So it was Virginia Tech was up 20-10 at half, and Vanderbilt won 44-20. They scored
Hey,
13 in the third, 21 in the fourth, and Virginia Tech didn't score any.
That's
hey,
SEC for you. Where they at? Where
where's
they at?
Vandy at? There
They're
we
right
go.
Yeah, they're right.
there. The Vanderbilt Diego Pavias.
Oh shit! What happened?
Uh, the Rams had a crazy interception. The Texans guy went up for the ball and they ripped it out. And then Seattle just fumbled it last possession.
I think Green Bay just fumbled it too. But anyways, that's gonna wrap up the recap, the week 2 recap of CFB enthusiasts, guys. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe down below. Like I said, if you bleed college football over here, you'll love it. Over here with us, go follow the Instagram CFB underscore enthusiasts. That's where you'll find a lot of our short form content. We will be back with y'all for our week 3 edition midweek. So Wednesday, Thursday, we'll come out with another preview and prediction video. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, let us know what y'all thought about week 2 down below. Other than that, I'm Jimmy. That's Patrick. That's Jacob. We are out. Peace.
Peace.